If I were to say the words, Your Honor, you'd probably have a picture in your head of a judge all dressed up, sitting on the high podium in a courthouse, deciding a person's punishment. However, if I were to complete this sentence, Your Honor pales in comparison to your brothers, especially when you left your men in the field to die, then the word honor takes on a completely different meaning, one that is almost lost today, one that is not a title, but rather an intangible concept. To move forward, we must first look back on the examples that history has presented us with from across the world. Welcome to ancient Sparta, a province in Greece known for having the best fighters in the land. In addition to the rigorous physical training that the men of Sparta underwent to become good soldiers, they were subjected to a code of sorts that established how a soldier should carry himself. In the field of battle, it was against the code to do anything stupid that would endanger the rest of the fighting Spartan unit, including fighting without care if one dies and raging. Off the battlefield, Spartans were expected to walk quietly and talk little. Punishment for breaking the code would result in a reduction of citizenship status or be outcast from the Spartan nation altogether. The medieval period, a time of death, war, and knights, where the inspiration for the stories of King Arthur, Canterbury, and noble deeds of chivalry come from. Many people know that knights were supposed to be polite to ladies, but there was also a series of rules on top of that which helped to constitute the Knight's Code, some of which were protecting the weak and fighting for the welfare of the people, speaking truthfully, and to preserve to the end in any enterprise begun, or following through with your word. These characteristics were all the rage back in the day, as one's honor heavily influenced what would happen to them in the afterlife. On the other side of the earth, during the later parts of the medieval period, the Japanese were developing their own set of ideals that the samurai should adhere to. And thus, the Bushido Code was born, creating a set of guidelines that the warrior class would follow. Chief among the principles were honesty, mercy, and loyalty. The Bushido Code remained a formal part of Japanese law until the mid-18th century, and it has remained a prominent part of Japanese culture until the present. Where one code ended, another began, as at the same time the samurai lost prominence, cowboys in the Wild West became the reality in the United States. Now there are various interpretations on the cowboy code, but it generally followed the same principles as before. This time, though, the code included principles about treating animals with respect on top of the normal parts of being honest and defending the less capable. Cowboys lasted long enough to become a part of pop culture, with multiple television shows being produced for the entertainment of young children.
My definition of honor, then, is the practice of being honest, loyal, and doing what is right, regardless of who is watching. That is all well and good, but why go through all this trouble just to give a somewhat bland definition of a word? The old principles of honor are still present today in the Scout Oath and Law and in television shows and movies, but those values are slowly dying out. I feel that the creation of certain technologies and the increasing anonymity of the world are leading people down the path of greed, deceit, and abandonment of others, all of which take away from honor instead of adding to it. All you need to do is look at any of the various social media platforms and see the animosity that happens there, and you can see my point. Applying the principles of honor in a modern setting can seem hard, but at its core, honor is just having respect for yourself and others. Finally, honor can also be a good measure of character because it is how one carries themselves and shows what they care about without needing to explicitly draw attention to it. One whose honor has dirtied has faced conflict and likely has little care about how they are seen or what they do. Conversely, one whose honor is kept pristinely clean and is constantly being referred to in such a way that it draws attention to specific events has false honor rather than actual honor. The person whose honor is neither pristinely clean nor egregiously dirty, rather well-weathered and tested regularly, is what everyone should strive to be. I challenge you, viewer, not to go out and change the world, but to change your small portion of it by instilling within you the principles of honor. In so doing, I hope that you are able to bring others around you up, because it is through the combined efforts of everyone that progress can continue to be made and virtues upheld. Thank you.